Alright, and welcome back to episode 2 of my Gambit series. This is Yap Mall. I'm going to be covering today the advanced approach to playing Gambit. Last episode I covered the basics, which was kill your ads, collect the motes, deposit the motes, call in your Primeval, kill the Primeval. Pretty simple, straightforward. That's how you play the game. This episode I'm going to go into a little bit more details on those motes and when to deposit and when to invade. Invading will be another new topic that I'll be discussing with you. It's a whole other element to the game. It is the way to stop the opposing fire team from getting their Primeval in before your team. But for this episode we are going to concentrate on depositing motes. So there are 3 different deposits you can do: a 5, a 10, and a 15. You collect 5 motes, deposit it, you're going to call in a small blocker to the other side, which then closes the opposing fire team's vault. They cannot deposit their motes when the vault is closed, and if you keep depositing motes on your end, you're going to keep calling in blockers, and that's how you stop the other team from calling in their Primeval. The first person to collect 5 motes needs to go and run and deposit that. Deposit that to call in the small blocker. The small blocker is a taken phalanx, and as you know, the phalanxes have shields, so they don't necessarily have a lot of health points, but they can be harder to kill than some of your medium and large blockers that I'll be getting into in a second. Collecting 10 and depositing calls in a taken knight, and lastly you have your large blocker, which is a taken ogre and will do significant damage to the fire team, keeping their vault closed. Calling in multiple small blockers is sometimes better than calling in 1 or 2 medium blockers or 1 large blocker. Just because that the taken phalanxes are harder to kill sometimes if you're not at the right angle because of their shields. I think you're better off just calling in the small blockers and focusing on that. But that's really how the mote system works. It's those 3 tiers, 5, 10, and 15 for your blockers. That leads me to my next point. Depositing these motes to open up the warp gate. This is how you invade the other team's arena. You will be marked as an invader, and you are now a taken guardian. You have a higher shield, and when on the other side, you want to look for guardians carrying the most motes. Take these guardians out, stop them from depositing their motes, and come back and do it all over again. This occurs twice in every match based on depositing your motes. The first 25 motes deposited opens up your warp gate. The second warp gate will open at 50 motes deposited. Jump to the gate, rinse and repeat. Kill the guardians with the most motes.
10 seconds left. 2 down.
Once your fire team is able to collect 75 motes and deposit them, you will then call in your Primeval. This is the 3rd time a warp gate will open in a match, and it will open multiple times until a Primeval is killed. Whoever calls in their Primeval first, the opposing fire team's warp gate opens up until the Primeval is killed. So if you get your Primeval in first, it opens up the other fire team's warp gate to invade you. So you must be on the lookout when you get your Primeval in. An invader will come through pretty quick to try stopping you guys from killing your Primeval. Once the opposing fire team calls in their Primeval, both warp gates will be opening and closing repeatedly. As you know, you want to kill the Primeval to win the match, win 2 matches to win the game. If you look at the top of your screen, you have a HUD there that has the amount of motes, both deposited and currently collected. The solid color blue signifies your team's progress depositing the motes, and then that gray color is the amount of motes collected and the progress made towards calling in your Primeval. The goal is to fill that bar all the way up and turn it gold to call in your Primeval. You'll see sometimes that this light gray bar extends close to calling in a Primeval. When it shows this, you guys need to start depositing the motes. Get the motes deposited and call in that Primeval. Why risk taking the chance of dropping these motes and having to start all over? If you're killed, you lose all your motes. So it's best to deposit frequently and often as you can, especially if you have a small blocker. Once you reach the small blocker status, I always just go for the deposit. It also shows the 2 stages of warp gates to be opened. You'll see that there is a vertical line going through the status bar twice, one signifying the 25 motes and the other signifying the 50 motes. If your light gray bar is past one of those milestones on your status bar, go ahead and get your team to deposit the motes to open up that warp gate. Because if you look on the right side, that red bar and the light gray status bars are indicating where the other fire team status is at. So they might be almost calling in their Primeval, which would make a good time to jump to the warp gate and kill those guardians holding those motes. So use the status bar to your advantage like you would your mini map. And strategizing, which I'm going to go in more thoroughly through in my next episode. But I just want to give you guys kind of an attention call to the HUD as one last thing to cover. As always, I hope you found this video informative, and hopefully you understand a little bit better about mote collections and invasion now. As always, please make your comments below, whether it's a question or a share of advice yourself. Please take a minute to like this video, share it, and go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this. And I'll leave it as happy hunting and see you online.
Bringing you back. Good hunt.